everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's Danielle here at Danielle Designs. I know it's been quite some time since I've done a video. I decided to take some self-care time, but I am back and ready to design some more cards with you all. So I've decided to do things a little differently. I will still be doing my artsy cards, but I also decided that I wanted to work smarter, not harder. And I'm going to use some of the designs that I really like in the catalog. I'm going to case those designs here with you all. And then each day this week, I will show you a different variation of that same card. So the card that we're going to work on today is found in the annual catalog. So the annual catalog, May 2021 to April 2022, in case you're watching this years later, so you know which annual I'm talking about. And we're going to be making this card here. This is using the Enjoy the Moment stamp set. And the reason why I wanted to case this one first is because I've had this set since last October, last fall, and I have yet to do anything with it. And so I thought, well, let's go ahead and do the design that they have here. So we're going to do this one together. I have all the dimensions on my blog, DanielleDesigns.com. But here are all the pieces that you will need to prepare beforehand. If you have not done this yet, go ahead and pause the video, prepare, and then hit play when you're ready. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So I have already added the DSP onto this piece here. I was on a roll. I make multiples of every card that I make, and I just kept going and going and going, and then I realized that I had already put this one together, and this was the one for the video. So sorry about that, but you know how to put DSP onto a card base, so I'm not worried. Okay, so our first step is going to be to emboss this stamp here. So I'm going to be bringing out my Versamark. I'm going to be moving all these other pieces so I have some room. And we're going to be embossing this with the Gold Stampin' Emboss powder. And what I do is I just take this embossing buddy and I just wipe it on my cardstock just to make sure I don't get make sure I don't have any static holding on to anything there. Okay, here's my piece. I'm gonna get it nice and inked up with that Versamark. And then I'm gonna stamp it onto my piece here. I like to use paper plates for this part of it. But if you use something different, let me know what you use. I would like to find a strategy that doesn't use a different paper plate every single time. I don't want to be wasting trees. All right, here we go. And if you're doing multiples of this, you don't have to do a separate sheet for each piece. You can actually just take one large piece of cardstock, or you can go ahead and use some scraps that you're trying to get rid of. Let me get my heat tool out, and this might be a little loud, so just be forewarned. Let's see if I can grab it with this hand over here. Wow, there we go. I hope you can see that. Starting to work its magic. There we go. All right, I think we got all of it there. You gotta be careful because it is pretty hot, so my fingers were getting a little toasty there. Sometimes I take tweezers and hold the paper, but this one was a pretty big piece, so I thought that my fingers would be far enough away from it, but no, I could feel the heat. This piece, because it's so large, did take quite a while to heat emboss. Normally it doesn't take that long for the change, but look at how gorgeous that is. We're gonna go ahead and prepare this for a card, and we're gonna fussy cut this out. I don't know if you all case any of the projects from the catalog, but it's a great way to find ideas. It's a great way to practice using the stamp set that you are trying to design with. You also learn new techniques, new card layouts. I really liked this layout and this technique that you're about to see. And at this point of filming the video, I've already designed 2 other cards with the same layout and technique. I'm excited for you all to see those. So here we go. We can put this aside for now, and let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. And our sentiment is going to be a little note. And we're going to be using Night of Navy. And let's see where our stamp went. Here we are, a little note. And we're just going to center this. Looks like something got stuck there, so let me try that again. So we have 2 sides to a paper, right? Ooh, now I got the left side. That's okay, because I'm going to go ahead and trim this anyways. I'm going to angle it on both sides, and we'll just take that piece off. There we go. All right, we still need our ink pad, so we're gonna go ahead and put that to the side. I have prepared other cards beforehand, and so I have some mats already ready to go. Let me pull that over here. Okay, so here we go. We have this opening here, and this is where we're gonna do all the cool blending. So we're going to take our front piece here. We're going to place it about halfway. Let's see, so we want it to be about right here. There we are. And then we're going to close this up. And I just used some washi tape that I had from a previous paper pumpkin. There we go. Now this is the fun part. I absolutely love this technique. So all I did is I took a piece of grid paper and I trimmed it to about, I think this was 6 inches by about 4, maybe 5 inches. And then I just made 1 tear. Now it sounds easier than it seems, because sometimes you may not like the rip that you made. I actually did this like 3 or 4 times before I had one that I liked. So if you can just rip and go, then by all means go ahead and do that. But if you're like me, you might have to take a few times ripping it before you get a really nice rip that you like. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take a few stamps, in that knighted navy, and that's going to be the base of this card. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this one here that's a little open. And I'm going to stamp that one here. And then I'm going to stamp this one off to the side as well. And then this one that's a little more closed, I'm going to go ahead and just get the bottom here. And I'm going to angle it on this side, because I want some variety. Okay. Now I'm going to take these ones and just fill in that white space. There we are. Now for some blending. Now when I first did this, I stamped this Night of Navy first, and I was like, well, oh, should I have done the blending first? But if you do the blending beforehand, then it's kind of hard because you have to match these stamps with the way you blend, versus this way I can just blend right on top. If you don't want to do like specific colors for certain stamps, then you don't have to do this first. You can do the blending and then you can stamp them. It's really up to you. So I'm going to be using Just Jade and Soft Suede. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up. And I'm going to start off with that Just Jade. And I'm going to color around the white spaces. And I kind of have a heavy hand with blending. The sample in the catalog was a lot lighter than mine, but I like some really rich, vibrant colors, and so I really do blend with a heavy hand. And you can tell I let this dry with some ink because I am getting some blotches there. You can just go over it, make it darker, blend it in more. And this is such a versatile design that you can really use this with any set. If you try this, make sure you tag me in it so I can see your version of this design. You can find me on Instagram. It's at Dino Danielle Designs. And you'll be able to find the other designs on my Instagram account as well as on my blog. But I'm going to be posting those one each day. And if you'd like to see me recreate any of the designs from the catalog, let me know, and I can add it to my list. All right, here we go. Are you ready to see it? Oh, this is so fun. Look at how cool that looks. I love it. I love how crisp the line looks. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do this on a couple more pieces, but we're actually gonna change out our mat. I wanted a thinner piece for the insert and the envelope. So I made a separate one for that. As you can see, it's a lot thinner. So we're gonna go ahead and take our insert piece. All right, and this one I left it loose enough to where I can just slide it in, and I want this one pretty close to the bottom so that it gives whoever is writing in this card enough room to write. And so I'm just going to leave it really close to the bottom. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start off with our Knighted Navy. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with this open one here, and then a little of the bottom, and then the closed off one over here, and then we'll do 3 of these stamps to fill in. There we go. And those ones were a little wet, so I'm gonna let that kind of dry a tiny bit before I do the blending. I can go ahead and get those out so that I'm ready. All right, I think we're good. It looks wet still, but maybe it's just a little shiny. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna go with a lighter hand just because I know it's a little wet still. And the great thing about this is if it moves a little bit, it just looks like you did it on purpose. All right, that looks good for the Just Jade. Ooh, I almost lost my brush. No, it moved. So see here, you can see that it moved, and then you can just take your piece of paper and just line it back up. There we are. Okay, we are good with that one. Ta-da! Let's bring out our large one here. So this is our front, and this is our insert. Now we're going to do the envelope just like this one, because you all know that I love to have my envelope matching. So I'm just gonna slide the envelope in, and I want it towards the bottom. All right, that should be good. Okay, just like we did with the last one. I'm gonna start off with Knighted Navy. Here and here. And then we're going to take the closed one here, fill in some of this white space. Okay, Just Jade. If you want this piece to last a little longer, because you can see mine is starting to fray, I just used a grid paper, which is really thin, but this is what they had in the catalog as the example, and so I thought that I would try and use that. But I was thinking that you could use the basic white thick cardstock, and that would probably last longer, or you could even use a window sheet. And then with the window sheet, you could kind of wipe it in between, so you could make it last even longer. Pretty much making your own stencil. Okay, so let's go ahead and come in with our soft suede. This is a very messy project, so you do have to wash your hand in between if you're going to make multiple copies. Because I did mess up a couple because I had ink on my fingertips, and then I went to go grab like the top part, and I was like, ooh, whoops. Good thing it's just paper. All right, so see, check my hands, we're good. Ta-da! All right, we're done with that one. So let's go ahead and close these up. We are going to move this mat movie magic. We have a clean space. Let's go ahead and put our card together. So on the insert, I'm actually going to just attach these very small pieces to the top and bottom to give it the illusion that I have a piece that's this large behind it. And the reason why I did that is to show you a strategy on how to extend your DSP. If you're not worried about trying to extend it, then go ahead and just use a piece that is this size on the insert as well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and work on that first. All I do is I take this piece here, and we're gonna go ahead and use Tombow liquid glue. I just got a brand new one. So let's open that up real quick. All right, I'm just gonna put a tiny bit on the edge here. And that might be a little too thick, so I'm gonna wipe it so it doesn't squeeze out. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach this so that it has about 1/4 of an inch showing. And then the same with this one. And again, this is just to create the illusion that I have a whole DSP piece back there. There we are. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the entire piece. And I'm going to place this inside. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to do the same with the front cover, except I am going to be using dimensionals for this one. All right, there we are. There we go. All right, so now we have this piece here, and I do want a little note right in front, and we're going to place this little bow behind as well. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this first with some dimensionals. And you don't want it too far up because that's going to be hanging off the top. So I'm going to do it pretty close to the bottom of this piece here. And then I just need a sliver. So I'm going to take part of that edge down here. Maybe one more sliver to give that stem a little bit of support. And then just a couple more here. All right, here we go. So we're gonna place this right about there. Awesome. I'm gonna use a glue dot to put my bow off to the side. And I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool to grab the glue dots. And what I like to do is these are kind of big, so I kind of fold it on itself. There we go. And now place my bow. Perfect. And we need our sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dimensional on the left side of it and a glue dot on the right side. That one can be a whole glue dot. All right. I want to kind of split this bow. All right, there we go. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and add our envelope flap. So I'm just adding some adhesive there. Add this with the designed upside down, so when it's closed, it'll be right side up. And then we're just trimming off that excess. There we are. Okay. So here's our card. Let me bring that catalog back here. Okay. So what do you all think? I think it's pretty close to the original. Like I mentioned, I do have a heavy hand when I'm blending, and so I like it to be really dark and vibrant, whereas theirs is very subtle and light. But I think it looks really cool. I really like it. Now, of course, they only had the front, so I did design the insert to match, and then I designed the envelope to go with it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the moment. And I hope to see you here next time. Keep a lookout for all those other designs using this technique and strategy. And if you create anything like this, make sure you tag me in it. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful crafty day. Bye.